prince lives here. We got 10,000 lakes. But wait, the women are beautiful. To me they are. And we're not infested with pretentious movie stars. And it hit me. Minnesota is dope. If only simply for not what we have, but what we don't.
Welcome to 10 Minutes. I'm Tony Scott, joined in the studio with Peter Odney, the Justin Timberlake lookalike. How you doing, Peter?
Thanks, Chris Marinucci.
Nice. Chris Marinucci, that's a compliment.
Maybe in Minnesota, yeah. But
yeah, he won a Hobie Baker Award. What has Justin Timberlake ever won?
Probably several Grammys.
And on this show, does a Grammy get you anywhere?
Point made.
Who's today's sponsor?
Today's sponsor is Pair Up.
Love
10
it.
Minutes with Tony Scott is brought to you by Pair Up, where groups and sponsors connect. Pair makes sponsorships easy for groups and events of all shapes and sizes. Find a sponsor in less than 60 seconds and activate your community to raise up to $1,000 or more toward custom shirts, cash donations, products and services, or food and catering from a national brand or local business near you. Pair Up!
Thank you, Pair Up, for sponsoring today's show. We're going to go top down. We're going to start at high school. We'll probably get to Chris Marinucci's team
I like
if
it.
we're lucky, or if, in his case, if we're
like
not
it.
lucky, because they did lose a big one last week to East up in Duluth. Let's start at the top, though. Stillwater, number one in the state, falls to White Bear Lake. Any comments on that?
I'll do the comment that I left on your Twitter feed. Trap period, game period.
Yes, that was a very good
Trap
tweet.
game?
It was a trap game. And they did lose it, and I think people in Stillwater were kind of a collective sigh of relief. They didn't want
All right.
Tony writing a story called Undefeated, because I got it already written how they're going to go undefeated.
All you had to do is
and it
press
just
publish.
ruined it for me. Thanks a lot, Stillwater.
Yep.
All right, let's go to the East game. I watched it online. East in Grand Rapids. Rapids couldn't even score a goal on East. You saw East on
Right.
Saturday.
I did.
They're playing really well.
They are. That top line, Garrett Worth, Ian Majou.
Made you?
I learned how to pronounce that this weekend.
Sure.
And who's the third one?
Probably Ryder Donovan. I haven't
And
seen
Ryder
this.
Donovan. Speed, quickness, great puck movement. One thing they got to learn to do is shoot the puck in the slot.
Thanks, Coach.
Come on, guys.
What impressed me most about this, at least the scorecard, is this Austin Jupy, third liner.
Right.
They put
The
in
third
a
line
few
had both goals.
Ricky Lyle scored on Thursday night. I mean, they're getting production across the board, all 9 forward spots. So
It's a classic Duluth East team.
it's good. It's really good. I think they had, going into the game, I was reading Louis St. George up in the Duluth News. He said that, the big line, Miller and Hain and McLaughlin all got 30, 40 points. The top scorer was Ian Majou, 13 points for East, and they still won. All right, big story for this week, obviously Hockey Day, Minnesota. That's going to be written about and covered ad nauseum by everyone. But I think the biggest story in the whole thing, besides the game, Eden Prairie Stillwater, is the weather. Could be 42 degrees, and it could be pouring rain. If you're in Stillwater, or you're from Stillwater, you're going to putting on a first-class event. You're doing a rain dance starting Thursday and until Saturday, hoping it doesn't pour rain that day. Because they had the refrigerated ice. Let's hope to the hockey gods that
Right.
they can get that game in.
Temperature doesn't matter when it's refrigerated ice, but if it's pouring rain, that's going to make it darn near impossible to play.
Note to our viewers, later in the show, at the end of 10 minutes, we're going to do a pick-em on all the levels. Bantams, peewees, squirts, obviously, and then we'll pick our Hockey Day picks as well.
Right.
Let's move on to some players to watch. At the high school level, there are players to watch at each level. Benton Moss and Ben Almquist both committed, one to New Hampshire, Benton Moss, and then Wisconsin nabbed Ben Almquist. Any other players to watch that you've seen over the last week or so?
I haven't gotten to see a great look at him over the years, but Garrett Worth, who I saw play against Eden Prairie, love him.
He had a big game on Thursday as well against Rapids as well. So, yeah. A guy I talked about it on our podcast a little bit, Mitch Macklett from Breck had an unbelievable game against Moorhead on Saturday. He just got he's one of those long players that's quick. Usually it's a long player, it takes a little bit longer to get going. He's real quick, got great hands. That line of theirs with Breitenfeld and Heidemann is a great line. One of the best lines in the state. Rivals the top line from Hermantown. So I think that Hermantown Breck game, if Breck can get past Delano, will be an unbelievable state championship type game.
Seen Breck play a couple of times this year, and for my money, they might be the best skating team in the state. Pure skaters in either class.
Yeah, I like it. There's a lot of good players on that team. All right, let's skip it down to Bantams. Tonka and Stillwater both lose. and I wouldn't say an embarrassing fashion, but they did lose. And when 1 and 2 teams fall, that means only one thing: the number 3 team becomes number 1, even if they haven't played for 10 days. Edina, congratulations! You're the new number 1 in Bantam AA.
It was the best 10-day vacation the Hornets ever took.
Yes, they went from 3 to 1. Okay, Grand Rapids, Star of the North is this weekend. Big tournament, 12-teamer. We'll make our picks on that one. 2 weeks from now, Moose Goheen in White Bear Lake, 16-teamer there as well. So there's going to be a lot of great Bantam hockey over the next 2 weeks that we're going to be able to cover, and we'll be back on 10 minutes in a couple weeks to talk about both of those.
Always a good time at the Moose.
Players to watch: Eden Prairie's Johnny Middlestat is having a banner year for Eden Prairie. He'll go over 50 goals this season easily. He's had a great year. How about you? Any guys that you've seen lately?
Noah Tussey from Stillwater. I think we've mentioned him on the show before. Saw him for the first time in the Bantam Elite League.
Yep.
And he's continued to progress throughout the season, adding new elements to his game.
Yeah, he's a solid player. All right, Pee-wees. Lakeville South wins the Founders Cup in a great, exciting championship game with Woodbury. District 8 battle was an unbelievable game. Champlain Park wins the Cloquet tournament last weekend. So lots of great hockey over the last couple weeks.
Champlain Park, one of those teams to keep an eye on.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to surprise a few people.
I would not want to play Champlain Park in regions. Like, oh, we got Champlain Park. And like, oh, my gosh, let's look at their record.
Park.
Look at all the great teams they've beaten. So that's definitely not some team that you want to face come regionals.
Don't sleep on the Rebels.
We will make a pick on the Roseau tournament later in the show. Players to watch. I talked about him after the game. I talked to him on the broadcast. It's number 42 for Lakeville South, Hunter Webster. He's got the great flow. He's got great energy. He's one of these kids that he's out on every shift. You know, as a coach, you're going to get your money's worth every time you send him out on a shift. That's a kid that I really like. How about you?
I'm down with the Caden Spaniel train from Rochester.
Yeah, there's another kid at a great tournament for Rochester.
He's got good
really
bloodlines.
Yeah, Dad's the coach at Lourdes. Plays hard, has great hands. He's a kid that's really kind of one of those 04 kids that's definitely on the rise without a doubt. All right, before we move to our pick'em section, you got a shout out for both our USA World Champions. You met one of them.
I did
last night. Talk a little bit about both of those teams.
Yeah, the under 20 men's World Junior Championships. The USA comes away with a 5-4 shootout win over Team Canada.
By the way, I now have a new boom roasted. We're going to get to that one. I'm going to change out my boom roasted.
You can just do both.
No, I can't do both. I don't really like my previous one.
And our second shout out is to the under 18 women's World Junior team, who took another gold in a win over Team Canada. And I also have to say, these high school girls who take some time out of their high school season to go play for Team USA and then come back to the high school season, that's guts.
That's amazing.
That's guts and gumption right there.
That's amazing. Let's get to our pick'ems. I'll go pick'ems, and then we'll go boom roasted, and then we'll finish it off with our game pucks. Again, the game puck is not on the screen, so one of us is going to have to jump off the camera really quick. Peter's going to do it right now. Nice work.
Oh,
okay,
subtle.
Let's start at the top. Hockey Day, Minnesota. All right, we have Eden Prairie. We aren't even going to talk about Matamidi, who already beat St. Thomas Academy this week, and Thief River. That's a gimme, right? We're not going to pick that one.
I will say that Matamidi, on paper, they should win the game. They need to win by 3 goals to prove themselves to be a contender.
I think they are a contender. Beating St. Thomas Academy would scare the pants off of me if I'm SPA. Like, okay, yeah, we beat them earlier in the year. Now they've just beat St. Thomas Academy.
Yep.
I'd be a little afraid if I was SPA.
Still want to see them win by at least 3.
Okay, all right, no, I'll make note of that. All right, Stillwater, Eden Prairie. I think it's a flip of a coin. Stillwater got their loss out of their system. This is the biggest day in Stillwater hockey history, I would say, one of them. A top 5 for sure.
Which is why I think it sets up for a nice Eden Prairie victory.
Because there's so many extracurriculars for St. Thomas, Stillwater to worry about.
Well,
all Eden Prairie has to do is show up and win, right?
No, they don't just have to show up. They do have to show up and get production out of that top line.
Yeah, we don't even. What line is that? We don't even know at this point, right? You didn't see it last.
As of right now,
Johannes didn't play, so we don't even know.
But I did like his replacement, Dex Shavlik.
Yeah,
Shavlik is a secret weapon for Eden Prairie, another big body that can get to the front of the net.
9, I don't even know. Sometimes he's not in the top 9. So
if he's never in the top 9, he'll make the most of his time.
I agree. There's a lot of different top 9s for Lee Smith, and that's because Lee's got so many good players.
He's got chess pieces to play with.
Yes, he does. Absolutely.
I'm going to take Eden Prairie in this.
You're going Eden Prairie? I'm going going home crowd. I'm going hometown. I'm going all in. Danny Ryan mentioned, because Tony, your chips have been all in on Stillwater since October, and I'm sticking with it. Chips in, Stillwater beats Eden Prairie.
You know, as much as Danny talks about gambling on the podcast, I think he has a problem.
I think he does too.
I think he plays a lot of online poker.
I think he does. All right, let's switch to the Bantams. All right, good field up in Grand Rapids.
Good field in Grand Rapids.
12-teamer. We set this one up a little different. We're gonna do the same thing as Squirts. Grand Forks Aviators or the field. Which one do you want and why?
I'm going to take Grand Forks.
You love those guys.
I do. I think that they're deep. I think that the two challengers would be Blaine and St. Cloud, and I don't think that St. Cloud has a deep enough bench to stay with Grand Forks, and I don't know if Blaine will stay out of penalty trouble, which we saw at the Nike Bauer Invitational in Chicago.
It amazes me that we've gone this entire show and you haven't brought up William Body Lawson yet.
William Lawson Body, the law firm?
Yeah, well, you haven't brought him up yet. You know,
I love him.
I know, a great player.
I love him. They also have Jackson Coons, who happens to be.
Who? I've never even heard of him.
I know.
I got to go check my program.
He's probably one of the top O2s in the country.
If not the top.
I
agree with that. Okay, so you're going there. I got to go to the field. I like my chances with Blaine and St. Cloud. One of those two teams can load up and beat the Grand Forks. So
there's a good chance that we're going to both be wrong.
Yeah, it'll be like Northern Edge. You know, someone will just come out of nowhere and win it. There's a team from Winnipeg. It just says Winnipeg, so we don't know which Winnipeg team it is. But there is a team in Winnipeg that has defeated Grand Forks. So if it's that team, then hey, I like my chances with the field.
Fair enough.
Like a blind bet. You know, I don't know what I'm getting exactly. All right, sneaking down to the Dick Johnson Memorial up in Roseau, Pee Wee Double A's, 16 teams. There's 6 or 7 really good teams in this field. Who do you like in this one?
I like Chaska Chan.
You're a Fetchko guy, aren't you?
I am a Fetchko guy. I got to see a lot of Trey Fetchko at the Prospect Combine over the summer, and I think he's one of those game breakers who doesn't matter who they're playing, he's going to produce.
You saw him in Stillwater, and you saw him in Edina.
Yes, I did.
You've seen them all. So, yeah, I'm big on Chaska Chan as well, but I think the best overall team, 1 through 15 skaters, is Osseo Maple Grove. Push comes to shove, they win this tournament. It would be their 3rd big title win.
All right. I'm going to take a Chan on the Stormhawks.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go with Osseo Maple Grove. Now, the big one, the Squirtacular, okay? We had 136 games. 1,000 kids. We'll get to this in my game puck later.
I get exhausted just thinking about it.
In one rink, okay? It's going to be awesome. It was awesome last year, the pin trading, the energy in that rink. You're already tired thinking about it.
I am already tired.
It's going to be great. Peter and I will be there to bring you both photos and stories and
double
tweets.
Fisting Red Bulls.
I'll be broadcasting the championship games, and it's going to be awesome. This is another one of those field versus a team bets, okay?
Red.
Osseo Maple Grove, they've won it 4 times in a row, okay? They've never not won. Their B teams have won it the last 2 years, okay? Who do you got? You have Osseo Maple Grove or the field?
I'm going to shock the world right here and take Osseo Maple Grove.
You went way out on a limb. You're about this far out on a limb taking them to win it.
I'm hanging on by my pinky right
No,
now.
you are not. That's not a really big bet. They won it 4 in a row. You're going with the 5, Pete. When I write the story, I'm going with the 5, Pete. But for the sake of arguments, and we like
You're going to take
argument,
the field.
I'm going to take the field.
That's
and
fine.
I'm going to tell you why. There are some really good hockey teams this year. I saw them play Chaska Chan. I think Chaska Chan is as good or better than them. So that's
Fair.
one team. I think Woodbury hasn't been able to play Osseo yet. I think that's another team that can give them a run. I think that Eden Prairie is another team that can give them a run. So there's 3 right there. Plus we get this team from Hermantown, which we never know. They're putting up 10, 11 goals on teams. That's another team that can come up and surprise you as well. So a lot of good hockey teams this year in the Squirtacular at the Squirt A level. I like my field bet to finally not write a headline, because you know how hard it is to write an OMG headline. I've written every OMG headline you can possibly come up with.
You got to dig into that thesaurus a little deeper.
I am digging hard on OMG headlines. But we'll see if they win 5 in a row. I'm going to go away from the OMG pun, and I'm going to have to go something with the Cinco or the 5 or something.
I'm going to come
like
up
that.
with a pun machine.
Well, good luck to all the teams in the Squirtacular. We'll move on to the Boom Roasted.
Boom roasted.
I had some good Boom Roasted, a couple Twitter feed Boom Roasteds. I had a lot of good ones, but I'll save those for another time. My Boom Roasted goes to the IHF International
IIHF.
IIHF International something.
International Ice Hockey Federation.
Thank you. You had the World Championship. We had it right there. It was the greatest hockey game. Back and forth. Both teams have leads. We're in the championship. We go in overtime. And we're going to finish it in a shootout.
Shootouts are
the
dumb.
World Championship.
They're dumb.
This is the World Championship in a shootout. You got to be kidding me.
The ultimate team game decided by a skills competition.
And I had some great people on Twitter because I talked about it. Said, well, why don't you just have a home run derby in baseball instead of extra innings?
That's fair.
Why don't you have
a fair comparison?
A free throw shooting contest?
And obviously,
you play it out.
Obviously, we're excited that
Boom roasted.
America won.
Yeah,
but
it's
the shootout.
It's hollow. That's a hollow.
It's
anticlimactic.
anticlimactic.
Was it hollow? Or was it real gold?
No, it was real gold.
It was hot.
I got to hold it. He let me hold it for a few seconds last night.
That's cool. That's very cool. All right, who's your Boom Roasted?
My Boom Roasted is going to go to a specific unnamed
but
South
specific, right?
Suburban Conference student section for a variety of reasons. One, unimaginative. Sophomoric would be another one. Crass and disrespectful, and not even cleverly crass and disrespectful.
Right.
And then third, your team suffers a heartbreaking loss. And instead of standing there and applauding your team,
Beat
90%
the traffic.
of you bolted for the crowded parking lot. And your players skated over, and they've got their helmets undone, and they're all sweaty, and they're exhausted, and they do their stick tap salute, and there's nobody there. If you want to be gutsy during the game, you might as well stick around and applaud your team.
Throw out your boom. Boom roasted.
In unnamed student section.
Boom roasted. All right, game pucks. Let's hand them out.
Game pucks.
I'm going to go with all the people that will help out our team, including you, Peter, that will deliver photos at every game, live scoring, pin trading, all 1,000 kids, 136 games, 2 championship games, all in one facility on Sunday. Everybody is going to help out, and I shout out to all the teams and team managers for making this happen. It's going to be an awesome event. So my game puck goes out to everybody involved in the Squirtacular, including the people at the Blaine Super Rink who are going to help us out.
And if you ain't gonna leave, cause this is where you're from, say, St. Cloud, Minnesota, Mankato, Minnesota, Duluth, Minnesota.